Hi, I'm Ruben Saltzman with Structure Tech Home Inspections, and today I want to talk to you about a common scenario that comes up. It's where we get requested to do a home inspection on a house that we've already inspected. What happens now? This happens a few times a year where we inspect a home. For some reason or another, the sale doesn't go through, and then we get called to inspect the house again. What's supposed to happen at this point? Are we supposed to not do the inspection? Are we supposed to send the same inspector out to the house? Are we supposed to share the old report with the new buyers? Do we have any obligation to tell the new buyers that we've been at the house? And a million other questions around this. We've been asked so many different things around this particular scenario, and I don't think there's any right or wrong answers to any of these things. We've given this a lot of thought. We've spent a lot of time deliberating the answers to all of these questions at our own company. So today I want to share with you what our policies are around all of these different things. Now, to start off, I think I should talk about home inspection codes of ethics. There's two large organizations for home inspectors, and they each have their own code of ethics, and they're really similar. One is ASHI, the American Society of Home Inspectors, and the other is INTERNACHI, the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. Yeah, INTERNACHI. They each have their own code of ethics, and I'm not going to read the code of ethics to you, but both of them say that home inspection results are confidential. The home inspector cannot share the report or what they've found with anybody other than the client. That's it. Now, if the client gives you permission, you can share it with somebody else, like their agent, but you can't even share the inspection report with the agent unless your client has given you explicit permission. Now, the one exception that both of those organizations have is if there's an immediate safety hazard, we can share that with the seller in order to prevent someone from getting injured. Now, I'm not talking about uneven riser heights on the front stairway, even though that would be considered a safety issue. In my mind, what constitutes a more immediate safety hazard is something that the sellers surely don't know about, and someone might die. I'm thinking about a furnace or a boiler that's emitting a very dangerous level of carbon monoxide and should be shut down. Or maybe there's something glowing red in the electrical panel, or we found a major gas leak. Things like that, I would leave a note for the seller. But most of the time, it's not stuff that we disclose. Okay, I'm on a bit of a tangent, but I had to qualify that one. So getting back to the topic, we can't share inspection results with anybody unless we're given permission. But what does our code of ethics say about sharing just the fact that we have done an inspection? Can we even share that? And codes of ethics are silent on this topic. They don't say anything about it. So I'm not sure. I will share a story though. Many years ago, this is before we used ISN, which is this electronic home inspection company management system that keeps track of where we've been and what we're doing and all that other fun stuff. Before we were doing that, we were basically scheduling stuff on pen and paper. I would have monthly scheduling books that I would have, and we'd do everything on there. And I remember there was one where we inspected a house for a second time, and I was the one doing the scheduling. I didn't know we were inspecting it for a second time. One inspector in our company had inspected it in, say, February, and then another one did it in April. I didn't know it was the same address, but when our client found out that we had inspected this for the second time, somehow the seller let them know or something, they were irate. I mean, they were furious, and there was no calming them down. They thought we were the most evil company on earth. How dare we not tell them? We don't know our heads from our butts, all that stuff. I mean, they read us the Riot Act. And there's no way I would have known unless I would have gone through the entire schedule all of our schedule books and looked at every address. I mean, it wasn't done electronically, and I wouldn't have known that. And even if I had known, why would this matter? I'm not sure. However, that wasn't the only complaint we got. We got a second complaint about something similar, where we hadn't told a buyer that we had been there first, and they felt very wronged. So I'm not sure what this feeling is that people have, but because these emotions have been so strong, we've just made it a policy ever since then to let our clients know if we have inspected a house previously, just so they don't feel like we're trying to pull the wool over their eyes. Again, I don't know what the problem could be, but we now use an electronic scheduling system, and anytime we're scheduled to do a home inspection on a house a second time, we get an alert saying, hey, heads up, you've already been at this house. So we will dutifully let our clients know about it. However, we cannot share that previous report with them. Our standard of practice, well, our code of ethics tells us you can't share any past results. That belongs to your previous client. All you can do is do a new inspection. Now, shouldn't I be able to take that previous report and simply change the name on it and then give the new clients a discount? I don't know. I was going to give a really emphatic answer, but let me be more open-minded about this. Who knows? As far as I'm concerned, now this is my opinion. This gets into ethics here. As far as I'm concerned, that would be unethical. I cannot take work that I have already done for somebody else and then change the name on it and just give it to someone else and say, here, pay me again. Or even give it to them at a discount. I did that work for client A. I cannot do that for client B. If client B wants a home inspection on that house, I need to inspect the house the same way we did the first time, maybe even have a different inspector, I don't know. Need to inspect it entirely again and write a new report. That is, in my mind, that's the only ethical way to do it. Now, if I were a home buyer, I would prefer to have the same home inspector who was out there the first time, because they've already been through the house, they may have some intimate knowledge about it, and as they go through a second time, they're probably going to see some stuff that they hadn't seen the first time. Maybe not a lot, hopefully not a lot, surely not a lot. I think most home inspectors are going to catch most stuff the first time, but there's always going to be a few little things you didn't see the first time. So if I were buying a house, I'd want the same inspector to do the second inspection, but it's not a requirement. And what about the previous report? Should the second inspector, if they're not the same person, should they look at the first inspector's report? I would say yes. I want every edge I can have when I'm inspecting a house. If there's a previous home inspection report that's sitting on the kitchen counter, I'll look at it. I want to know what other people have seen. I want to know what conditions have changed. Maybe things have changed a lot since the first one was done, and maybe there's areas I need to dig into a little bit more based on the results of that first inspection. So absolutely, I'd want to see that. Now, here's another common scenario. What about just selling that report to the new buyers? We've had a number of people ask about that, where you got the old buyers, the deal didn't go through, we got the new buyers coming in, and the new buyers say, hey, the seller tells us that you guys already inspected that house. Can we just buy that report from you guys for $100 or whatever it is? No. And again, we're getting into ethics. I'm saying no. It would be unethical for a home inspector to do that. The only way that the new buyer could get a copy of that report is from the old buyer. And what we'll do in those cases is we will try to connect those two parties. We'll go to the old buyer and we'll say, hey, we did a home inspection for you a month or two ago. There's someone new who has come into the picture. They want a copy of your report. Is it cool if we share your contact information with them? If it is, we'll put you two in contact with each other. You can give them the report. If they want to buy the report or you want to sell the report to them, y'all can figure that out, but we don't try to broker those transactions. That is none of our business. We stay out of it. We have sold our product. It is no longer ours to own, and we leave it between the other buyers, the new buyers and the old buyers. No longer ours. And then finally, okay, this is the last scenario, the last, I shouldn't say common question, but we probably get asked to do this about once a year, where somehow that new buyer gets their hands on the inspection report and they say, hey, we've got this inspection report you did 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whatever. Can you just walk us through the house? Because we want to rely on this report. Now, my advice to those people, all right, my advice to anyone in that scenario, we don't tell people this because I feel like it's just, it feels like self-serving advice to say this to someone, but I really do mean it. I feel like if you do that, you're getting a secondhand product. You are getting a home inspection report that was not written for you. It doesn't have your name on it. The home inspector has completely zero liability whatsoever with that report now because it wasn't done for you and it wasn't tailored to you. Before all of our home inspections, we have conversations with our clients, asking what are your concerns, what's priority stuff for you. We tailor our inspections around our clients' needs. You're getting somebody else's report. I don't think it's a great way to do it. You're not going to save a lot of money doing it this way, but some people want to do that anyway. So what happens when they ask us to do a walkthrough? We'll do it. We treat these like our walkthrough consultations where we walk through, we're not doing a full home inspection, we're just talking through the stuff that somebody in our company, probably the same person, had written for a previous client, but we're not saying that the conditions haven't changed. We're not saying that this is the way it looks today. We're just saying, here's what we meant when we wrote this report at this time. And we're not inspecting all of these conditions all over again. So I think that's a really cheap way to go, but we occasionally do it if people insist. Better to have that done than nothing at all. Okay, I hope some of this was helpful. I know it feels like I was rambling, but there's a lot of potential scenarios that I want to go through here. And again, these answers are not black and white. This is all ethical stuff. And I'm sharing what we have agreed to do within my company. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'm Ruben Saltzman with Structure Tech Home Inspections. Thanks for watching. Take care.